Sri Krishna Parabrahmane Namaha. Sri Sadguru Paramatmane Namaha. Sarva Maharshibhyo Namaha. The state of Paramatma is further described. 6th Shloka. Na tadbhasayate suryo na sashanko na pavakaha yadgatva na nivartante taddamam paramam mama. Substance. Neither the sun nor the moon nor the fire can illumine that state of Paramatma which having reached men do not return, take birth again. That is my supreme abode. Commentary. The sun, moon and fire illumine the material objects. The eye illumines the sun and the buddhi, intellect illumines the eye and the atma illumines the intellect. So, the whole universe, including the shining objects like the sun and the moon, are illumined by perceiving senses and the intellect, which receive their light ultimately from Atma. So, Atma is the light that illumines everything. All other things shine by the reflected light of Atma. In the Mundukopanishad, this is clearly explained and proved. Na tatra surya bhati yad gatva na nivartante. Those who have reached the state of Atma do not again fall into the miserable pit of samsara. From any other world in the universe, man has to return and take birth again. They have not the power to end sorrow. Only Paramatma has that power. The blessed state of self-realization, full of bliss, is moksha. The same idea has been expressed in the previous verse also. Yasmin gatana nivartanti bhuyaha. The Lord declares that state to be the supreme abode. The Jiva is a portion of Paramatma, the Lord. 7th Sloka. Mamaivamsho jivaloke jivabhutaha sanatanaha manasashtanindriyani prakritisthani karshati. Substance. Only a portion of my eternal self has become the soul, Jiva, in the world of livings. He, the Jiva, drew so itself to mind as the sixth sense, the five senses abiding in Prakriti. Commentary. Mamaivamsaha, the Jiva, Jivatma in truth is not different from Paramatma. The Jiva is directly Paramatma. Both are eternal. But the Jiva, Jivatma being deluded by Maya, is identifying himself with the vehicle of the body and the senses and consequently suffers all the ills and pains which come to the body. The Jiva is imposing on himself all the limitations of the body and the mind. If the body is weak and sick, the Jiva says, I am sick. If the mind is sad, the Jiva says, I am sad. Thus, the Jiva, who in truth is Paramatma himself, has developed a false identification and a fictitious personality limited by time, space, and causation. This is ignorance, avidya, or maya. All the qualities of limitless ether are to be found in the ether of the part. But the limiting form of the part seems to limit the limitless ether. This limitation is not true. It is illusory. Ether is not bound by anything. When the part is broken, ether remains as it is. There is no change. Thus, all the blessed attributes of Paramatma are present in the Jivatma, Jiva. When the Jiva gives up this false identification and remembers his original state, he realizes that he is Paramatma and nothing other than he. When the Jiva is himself Paramatma, what are these ideas of high and low, good and bad, and so on? All men are divine, all men are equal. So, knowing the wise are filled with love for all and consider all as equal. The Lord's declaration gives finite strength to every man. For the same individual who formerly was dreaming of himself as big and small, happy and unhappy, living and dying, now is awakened to the tremendous understanding of his own true nature. Now he simply laughs at the foolish little self which he was displaying in the world on his personality. No more is there any fear of death or suffering, for he is not the body, upadhi. Karshati. The jiva in his ignorance draws the senses to himself with the mind. The senses are in Prakriti. The deluded jiva draws Prakriti to himself and lives a kind of existence confined by the activities of the senses. The body is jada, inert, and so does not claim jiva as its own. It is Jiva who claims the body to be his. He says, "This body is mine." So also he says of many things, "This house is mine, this wealth is mine, this man is my father or son," and so on. All this is gross misappropriation of things which do not really belong to him. So the word Karshati is used by the Lord. What the jiva has to do now is to give up the false role which he has been playing on the stage of the world. He should give up calling himself Mr. So and so. This Mr. So and so refers to the body, which the jiva is not. He should know that this world is not his real abode. He is Paramatma, that is his real state. With firm and unflinching determination, he should contemplate his true self, where he would attain the highest bliss and blessedness. The false world and the false self bring misery and death. This verse is the Lord's assertion about the divine nature of man. May this idea give courage, strength, and peace to all mankind. Question. What is the nature of the jiva? Answer. He is a portion of Paramatma. He is eternal. Question. How does he think of himself? Answer. He thinks of himself as the body and the senses and lives a physical existence full of pain and suffering. Question. Why does he think so? Answer. By the power of avidya. Question. What does the jiva do now? Answer. He should give up the impure sense world and remember his identity with Paramatma and remain in that state, that is moksha. What happens when the jiva leaves the body and takes a new birth? 8th shloka. Shariram yadavapnoti yachapyutkramatiishvaraha gruhitvaitani samyati vayurgandhani vashayat. Substance. When the Lord, the Jiva, who is the Lord of the senses and the mind, obtains a body, and when he leaves it, he takes these and goes with them as the wind takes the scents from their seeds, the flowers. Commentary. As the Jiva leaves one body and takes another, like one dropping old clothes and wearing new clothes, it is clear that he is not the body at all. Therefore, this body identification, Dehatma Buddhi, should be given up once and for all. I am Atma is the Mahamantra. Moreover, the word Ishvara, Lord, is used with reference to Jivatma. The Jiva, in truth, is the Lord of the senses, the mind, and the body, and all that pertains to it. He is the master and not the slave, and bondman as he is now thinking and behaving. What a fall is there from that state of the supreme ruler to the humiliating state of a servant. This is what has happened to man. He, the ruler who has no freedom or will of his own. He has to behave according to the dictates of the mind and the senses. He has reduced himself to this wretched position by gross ignorance. So give up the slavery. Awake, arise, and affirm your real nature. Thou art Paramatma. This is the trumpet call of Lord Krishna to all mankind. Gruhitvaitani samyati. It is said here that the jiva, when he leaves one body and obtains another, takes the mind and the senses, the vasanas, with him. He cannot take anything else with him, neither his house nor his relations and friends. They are all dropped off in the world. But what does he really take with him? He takes the mind and the five senses in the form of vasanas, tendencies, and predispositions. These determine the nature of the next birth. If these are pure, naturally the jiva is born to pure parents and enjoy a pure life. If these are impure, he is born to impure and sinful wombs, maybe the wombs of beasts, birds, or reptiles. So, one's future life is in his own hands. He should therefore take to spiritual sadhana even now, immediately, and escape from the miserable fate of being born as beasts or reptiles hereafter. These vasanas are the only provision for the journey of the jiva to other worlds and bodies. Nothing else can be taken from here. Nothing else can be of help to him. Nothing else follow him. They cannot even if they wish to. The journey is alone and lonely, but there is no fear, for the good that he has done and the spiritual sadhana that he has performed will be with him. The mind carries the essence of this whole life, embedded in it in subtle form. It is his bodyguard on his journey. So, people are themselves the makers of their future birth, good or bad or birthlessness. The last is the goal, for it is the state of Paramatma. The wise attain it by Brahmagnana. Vayur Gandhaniva Ashayati. This simile is used to illustrate the idea of Jiva carrying the mind and senses with him at the time of birth and death. The wind carries all kinds of scents, sweet or foul, from all kinds of objects, from flowers, sweet fragrance, from flesh, foul odor. The wind carries by absorbing the subtle essence of these objects. The wind has no likes or dislikes towards these scents, sweet and foul scents. As the message bearer carries good and bad news, as the wind blows sweet or foul, as the case may be, Jiva carries this essence of his whole life in the subtle form of vasanas and enters a new body. The body taken depends on the quality of the mind which the Jiva is carrying. If it is impure, he goes into impure wombs. If it is pure, he enters enlightened wombs. Therefore, there is no partiality for good or the divinities of karma in the transmigration of the jiva. If the mind becomes so pure as to be rid of all vasanas, there is no further birth for the jiva. He attains union with Paramatma even here. So, it is the primary duty of every seeker to purify the mind and the senses by constant sadhana. Thus, they shall attain purer birth and even Brahmagnana here and now. Question: when the jiva leaves a body or takes a new body, what does he take with him? Answer: he takes the mind and the senses and the subtle vasanas with him, nothing else. Question: how? Answer: like the wind that carries sweet and foul scents from different objects.